This week on football, Trent Alexander Arnold is off to Madrid.
Real Madrid and Trent Alexander Arnold, the agreement is very close, and here we go, is expected soon for the English right back to join Real Madrid from Liverpool as a free agent.
Hello everybody, welcome to This Week on Football. It is me, Alex. Thank you for joining me once again. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. If you want to like the video, also do that, and that'll be cool as well. This week I have got my weekend treble. That's right at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. That's where I win you guys money. There's a team of the week to go through as well. It's international break time, so obviously we've got to talk international football. But the breaking news is that Trent Alexander Arnold has agreed to join Real Madrid in the summer. For everybody who is arguing that this is not the right move for Trent, I cannot get on board with you. Liverpool fans are up in arms, but let me just break this down for you. Trent Alexander Arnold came through your academy as a kid, cost you nothing. 107 goal contributions in all competitions, 81 goal contributions in the Premier League from a right back. This is a guy who has revolutionised the position of right back, particularly in the modern era under Klopp. It's been an unbelievable rise for Trent Alexander Arnold. The quality he has is unbelievable. It's undeniable. But it is time. It is absolutely time for him to try something new. You can see in him, he has ambitions, he has aspirations to be bigger than arguably football is. You know, you see these players, particularly English players of the past, your Wayne Rooneys, your David Beckhams, players who kind of transcend football. They're bigger, they're stars, they're kind of famous people rather than just the sports people that you watch every week. Trent Alexander-Arnold clearly has aspirations of that, and there is no better platform than Real Madrid to do that. I fully support Trent with that decision to go to Real Madrid. I think he's had a great career at Liverpool. He's given you 9 whole seasons of top quality, and I think Liverpool fans should appreciate him rather than absolutely slandering him. They are absolutely slating him online. You look at Twitter, it is full, calling him all sorts of names. And I won't use the names because it's early in a YouTube video and early on Spotify. But at the end of the day, Trent Alexander-Arnold should leave as a Premier League legend and a Liverpool legend. For me, he's been one of the best right-backs, if not the best right-back in the league for the last sort of 10 years. Since his debut, he has been a complete breath of fresh air. For England, particularly as well, to produce a player with this quality. I've not seen a player with as good a quality on the ball since David Beckham. And that's saying something. He is an unbelievable footballer, but he deserves to go and play for arguably the biggest, the largest club in the world, the most successful club in the world. And he will win trophies while he's there. For me, I can see the Liverpool fans, they're going nuts right now. They're saying he's disrespected the club. He should have waited. He should have signed another contract for 2 years and got money. There is a £100 million player potentially there in Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I do understand that. But it's just not how football works. You don't play down your contract, then sign a 2-year extension, and all of a sudden go for £100 million. Real Madrid are smarter than that. They're more intelligent than that. They will want to get that deal on a free. They'll want to get that snapped up, done and dusted going into the next season with a right-back position that has been kind of vacated since Danny Carvajal's injuries. I think Real Madrid will be better for it. I think the front line for Real Madrid will absolutely love it. How he fits into that system, I don't know. They could even end up playing him in midfield. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I think Trent's decision has been final. The only thing I'm going to say on this matter that maybe to the contrary of what I've said already, he should have kept everything under wraps until the end of the season. They're about to win a title. Go and enjoy it as a Scouser. Enjoy it with your community. Then at the end of the season, maybe announce, look, I've had my time here. I've loved it. I've loved the fans. I've loved the support. But I want to try something new. I want to go and maybe he might not even get better at Real Madrid, but maybe go and do something new where he's in front of, you know, a brand new stadium, a brand new set of fans, worldwide fans. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a big name in football, but this will elevate him to the stratosphere. I fully support this, and I don't know what you think. I think Trent, for me, has nothing to apologise for wanting to leave Liverpool. I think 9 years of fantastic success. And look, he's won a Premier League title, Liverpool's first Premier League title, the first one in 30 years. And he's also won a Champions League. He's won domestic trophies. He's been a great servant. And I actually don't think Liverpool will miss him all that much. I think Liverpool fans have maybe got a little bit ahead of themselves. Liverpool are great with or without Trent. Trent is brilliant. And if you have the system that suits him, it's fantastic. And I think this Liverpool side, though, would have won this Premier League title with or without Trent Alexander Arnold. And I don't think it's going to massively hinder them. I know that is completely against what I've just said, but he has an ability on the ball that you want to put. There's a quality there that you want to put in any side. But when Liverpool are playing the way they've been playing, the way Mo Salah's been playing, I think if you can wrap up that Mo Salah deal, wrap up that Van Dijk deal, losing Trent, I think, is the lesser of the three evils, if you put it that way. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I think he's deserved it, and I think he's been a brilliant player for England as well. I mean, he's obviously got ambitions of nailing down that right back spot. He's only 26 years old. He's got plenty of years ahead of him. It looks like he's losing that battle, and he's losing it to an array of players at England. Reece James just comes through, and if he stays fit, he's not going to play ahead of him. I think Trent, your stock goes up when you start playing for a big European giant outside of England, and I think that will happen naturally. So I think all round it's the best decision for the club. It's the best decision for Trent. I just think maybe could he have handled it differently? Should he have just kept everything? Why did he have to release it now? That is a question. Obviously, the international breaks come. He has been injured, so he's been out, and it's given him a bit of time to probably sit and think and negotiate with Real Madrid and Liverpool alike. Something's broken down at Liverpool where they can't secure a new contract. They can't agree. And I fully believe, actually, Trent probably would have agreed a contract if the money was right. And I know that probably seems terrible, but I feel like if Trent felt like he was valued, he was like the number one guy for Liverpool, and the Liverpool directors, the people involved in the negotiations, had relayed that to him. I think he might have been swayed, but it obviously has been a standoff for a while. Obviously, Mo Salah and Van Dijk, it's a similar situation. I think Trent's just young enough to really go and, like I said, take that next step. For me, I think it's the right decision. I said to you about the team of the week, the part of the show where I give you my favourite performances from all of the players that I've watched 90 minutes of. None of the highlights, nothing like that. Players that I've seen live. And obviously, international break is a difficult time for content creators. You see a lot of people trying to come up with new ideas, talk about different things, and it is difficult. I've been trying to put videos out all week, and you know, it's tough. It's tough, but I've managed to watch enough football to give you a full team of 11. In goal, I have got the Latvia goalkeeper. It's Zvaigzris. I know him really well, obviously. He made an unbelievable save against Bellingham during that game, and it was 3-0. It was a comfortable game, but he was really good. I thought he was quite impressive, to be honest. And it's a difficult game when you're coming up there, because really, as a goalkeeper, it's almost a win-win. It's almost like a penalty shootout. You know that you're going to be busy. You know that you've got an opportunity to really stop a team and make some great saves, and I think he did that. Obviously, the goals weren't his fault, but yeah. Right back, Rasmus Christensen. He's a guy who's played for Leeds. He's been at Roma, I believe, as well. For Denmark, really, really good. He locked up Rafa Leao, probably in both fixtures, actually. I watched both of them, and I thought Denmark are actually really good, and unfortunate not to beat Portugal over the two legs. But the Ronaldo factor, Bruno Fernandes, the quality was unbelievable. But Rasmus Christensen did a really good job, I thought, on Rafa Leao. Rafa Leao, by the way, a player I've talked about before, but I don't see it with him. I think he's really good, and this is why I put Christensen in this side, that I thought he was good against him, and I think players can lock up Rafa Leao fairly easily. And he was good. He was good. But Leao's just, if he's not on it, he's not on it. But he's so quick, so dynamic. It is hard. But yeah, Christensen did a good job. Ezri Konsa at centre-back. I thought he was the pick of the England defenders for both games. I thought he was really good. He is a player that probably has elevated to a different level since Unai Emery's come in, really. Villa gone on to a Champions League campaign, and I think he looks at home on the world stage. He looks really good when he plays for England. And yeah, he's a strange player, Ezri Konsa, because I never would have predicted it when I saw him like early years that he could play for England and look really good. I thought he was really good. Obviously, Albania, Latvia, he's not going to be tested. But the times he was tested, he was really good and very good on the ball. Alongside him, Ben Davies. I've just delayed, by the way, this podcast recording this week because I wanted to watch the Wales game, the Wales-Macedonia game. And honestly, 88 minutes, 89 minutes, I was thinking, what have I done? I've sat here for 90 minutes and it's a 0-0. And Ben Davies was really good in the previous game, but he was really good in this game. And then all hell broke loose. Wales conceded and Joe Allen passed it back and Miofsky scored the goal, and then up the other end, David Brooks in the last second. It was brilliant to watch, and it was worth it for that. But Ben Davies is really good. He's a versatile player, can play left back, has been playing left back and in a centre back position as well. I think he's really good, very experienced, and Wales need that as well. By the way, on that Wales performance and the performances that I've watched, I'm really enjoying Wales at the moment under Bellamy. I enjoy watching them. I was speaking to Baker about it and saying, I actually look forward to watching Wales games. Bellamy's got them playing in a very confident manner. Whether it's, I'm not going to say that he's a tactical genius, but what it looks like is the players all believe in the project that he's got going on. There's a really nice mix of youth and experience in there. Bellamy picks the right players. I always feel like he picks the right players and he sprinkles them in. Aaron Ramsey travelled even though he's not fit, and it's just a nice mix there. They're very fortunate to get away with that tonight, because a loss to Macedonia, you can almost write off very early your World Cup qualification hopes. There's only one team from each group that automatically qualifies. The rest are either out, and I think the second place teams go into a playoff. You don't want to be in that position again for Wales. But I really like watching them. It's been enjoyable. At left back, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I've been a fan of him since he's come in. I think he's a top quality player. And what I love about a midfielder come left back is a player that can drift into those central positions and be comfortable on the ball, receive the ball. He's really good at that, but he likes getting forward, which is really interesting because he's a player who, the run for the Bellingham pass, the pass was brilliant and he obviously finished it and it's a magical moment for him. But I think he's a player that, different to a lot of fullbacks, obviously in years gone by, he's kind of taken that role as that inverted fullback that can drop into the midfield, pick up the ball and continue play and progress play as well. He's really good at that. And he locks up all the players around him. So if you're a right winger playing against Lewis-Skelly, first of all, it's really difficult to get past because he's quick and he's strong, he's agile and he uses his body really well. But then you're thinking, he's going to do me on the outside if I'm not careful. And he does. And he did that for that goal. The goal was absolutely sublime. The Bellingham pass and then the finish and the moment. And I think Miles Lewis-Skelly gets so much unnecessary hate because the reason I think he gets unnecessary hate is because he scored the goal, then did the celebration, and that kicked off the kind of big arguments between City and Arsenal fans. But it's the classic argument of, he's a young guy, he should know his place, he's getting too far ahead of himself. I don't believe in that at all. I think if you're good enough, which Miles Lewis-Skelly is, you can be whoever you want on the pitch. You can express yourself. And it's a celebration. I don't know if anyone's seen any interviews of Miles Lewis-Skelly, but he comes across like a really sound lad, like a really down-to-earth, nice lad. I watched a really cool interview that Declan Rice did in the England camp between Miles Lewis-Skelly and Dan Burn, like kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. 32-year-old Dan Burn making his debut and Miles Lewis-Skelly first England call-up at 18. What it felt like is he was there to learn. You could see he was asking questions, he was interested, he was engaged. And yeah, I think football ability aside, I think he seems like a really sound lad. I really don't understand the Miles Lewis-Skelly hate at all. Centre midfield, Vitinha. Vitinha is the football equivalent of a back garden stream. A nice, calming, fluid, flowing stream. What I mean by that, it sounds ridiculous, and I realise it as I said it, but when he receives the ball, he moves it really nicely. Like, he's seamless. You can pass him the ball and it kind of just goes through him and it's off to... He makes the right pass. So it's passed to him, it's out of his feet. He's really clever in and around the box, but he makes those little passes that break lines, and I love it. I absolutely love it. You see it with Pedri at Barcelona, and it is a beautiful thing to see. Portugal produced these players. Spain produced these players. England have always had a little bit of trouble producing this kind of archetype of player, the player that can get on the ball and break lines, but play those really intelligent passes. I think the closest I've seen is Paul Scholes, and I love that about the Pedris, the Vitinhas, and Vitinha playing at PSG. I think this season people will take note because I think PSG will go far in the Champions League, and they already have done. But Vitinha has been a player that's gone under the radar for a long time, unless you watch the French league, which like nobody does except for losers like me. But Vitinha's always impressed me. You'll see probably the last 2 years of this podcast how many times Vitinha's been in my team of the week because I love watching him play. And then we've got Jordan James alongside him. I said after the first Wales game that I'm shocked that Jordan James does not play every single minute for Wales. He, I think, is the next best player that Wales will have. I think he's that good. I was really confused by the move to Rennes, and it was a move that I think has stagnated his career a little bit because he found it really difficult to adapt and get into the team. He's now playing a little bit more, but in this Wales side, he is that bit of quality. He's the Jude Bellingham in this side. And I know that sounds like a ridiculous comparison, but we're looking at it just by contrast. If you want a player to kind of assimilate or look like a player that is similar to a top side that you might watch, maybe you don't watch Wales, Jordan James is that Bellingham role. He can receive the ball and he drives with it. He just doesn't have quite that physicality that maybe a Bellingham does, but he's got really, really good speed of thought in tight situations, receives the ball really well. And I think Wales need that. Wales need a player who can be dynamic in midfield, but provide the sort of things that Joe Allen has in the past, the players that can take the ball and just play it nicely, smoothly through midfield. But then when it comes to it, gets on it, gets through, and then hopefully for Wales produces something. And I think he will do that. He produced a fantastic crossfield ball that ended up in a goal as well for Wales, the third goal the other night. And I thought he was really good in the Macedonia game tonight. I thought he was really, really good. He was probably Wales' best player. And then finishing off that midfield, it's obviously Jude Bellingham. I mean, he's a phenomenon, isn't he? And I'm not talking about, I went on a rant last week about him, but yeah, what a player. Jude Bellingham. He's got everything. He's the player that I think is going to be, I think he'll go down as England's best ever player. I think if England win anything with Jude Bellingham in this side, he'll go down. And I think he'll be the reason why they do, but I think he'll go down as England's greatest ever player. He's at a ridiculous number of caps already at his age. He's probably got another decade, maybe more, in this England side. You can see he's a player who has such a level of confidence that it's almost alien to us English people. We almost don't like it. We feel weird about it. We think, why is he so cocky? Why is he so arrogant? Why does he have to be better than me at everything, better looking than me at everything? Why is he living my dream? That's the issue with Jude Bellingham, that he's so good at everything. It hurts. It actually hurts me. I watched a Jude Bellingham documentary. If anyone's not watched it, it's brilliant. He did like single videos for like episodes, and then he's combined it all into one for his first season at Real Madrid, and it's a fascinating watch. There's a player, obviously, that shares his name that is now, I think, breaking in and will be breaking into this England side going forward. He's in the under-21s, Joe Bellingham, his brother. He's got all the attributes that you can see Jude Bellingham has. He's the physical, driving midfielder with the ball, really good, really techie with the ball as well. And I got heat for saying that he's going to be in the England side one day. I fully believe it as well. And I think, imagine that, two Bellingham brothers together winning a World Cup. I couldn't think of anything better. Right wing is Dan James. Thought he was really good. He's probably Wales' best player on form probably this season. Scored plenty of goals for Leeds this season, and Leeds absolutely flying in the Championship. It is another level when he goes to the Premier League. I do think he's good in the Premier League. I think it's time for him to really nail it down. Once he gets to the Premier League, can he be an out-and-out right winger who gets goals, gets assists, makes impact on games? And I think he does that for Wales at times. He scored a really good goal, the opener the other day for Wales. Didn't make it at Man United, but I think a lot of Man United fans really enjoyed Dan James being there. It was tough for him. It was probably a level of quality that he quite wasn't ready for. Right wing was Dan James, left wing Nico Williams. I've put Nico Williams in left wing because the other night when I watched him, he pretty much played there. Wales sat back into a back three. Ben Davies moved into a third position in the centre-backs, and Nico Williams had free licence to go up and down the wing. He's the player in the Wales side that has got the most quality at this point. I think Nico Williams' season for Forest has been a little bit, he wasn't starting all the games, but he is now. He's found his form. He's a player that I think is as close to a player that on that Wales side would get into an England side. I think he's a very versatile player. He can play left or right back. I think he's very good at both. But when he's asked to get forward, he is really good, has a lot of quality, got a really good right foot as well. Striker, Harry Kane. I just love Harry Kane. I absolutely love Harry Kane. I was going to do a video this week and it was going to be purely Harry Kane, but I think you're probably sick of me talking about England and England players, so I tried to vary it up. But Harry Kane documentary incoming, because what a guy, what a career, and what an underrated player. The finish the other night, and then I thought, captain's performance, came up with the goal, was in the right place at the right time. Firstly against Albania and then against Latvia. He's the player that you just expect to score, and England just don't have those players. We have had strikers like Ian Wright, Robbie Fowler, those players in the past, Teddy Sheringham, Andy Cole, those players that they turn up and you expect them to score every game. We had a long period without a player like that, and Harry Kane came along and just doesn't get the credit he deserves, in my opinion. Right, let's do our weekend treble. Last week was... it was a nightmare. Some of the ones that we've lost this year, this season, and if you've come along with me for the ride, fair play to you. You've gone through it with me. I feel more bad when it doesn't win, not because of money, but because of you guys. I want you guys to win something off it. And when it misses by a goal, it's tough. Peterborough Charlton finished 3-0. Charlton on a ridiculous run of form, pushing for the playoffs, couldn't score a goal and got battered 3-0 by Peterborough. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. So we missed by a goal. And it was a low odds one that week. But this week it's a little bit higher. We're going for it this week. It's goal week. That's what I think. I think there's going to be goals. So, first selection, Kiel versus Werder Bremen over 2.5 goals. Second selection, Monaco versus Nice over 2.5 goals. And third selection, Brighton versus Forest over 2.5 goals. £10 on, gets you £43 and 43 back. That is the biggest returns of, I think, any of the trebles I've done this season. So it's massive if it comes in. It's massive for the end of the season as well, because if that comes in, that takes us to £100 up for the season and 10 times your original stake, which is massive. I'm buzzing for it. The Premier League is back this week. I'm really looking forward to it. Loads of big games. It's going to be the FA Cup first, and it's a bit disappointing when you're not in it. But the midweek games coming up, I'm really looking forward to it. I love a midweek game. I think everyone who plays FPL has really missed the Premier League probably for the last 2 weeks. It's a killer when there's an international break, especially if you're not that into your international teams. I am personally, so I love it. I love watching new players come into the England side, and I love watching different countries play and getting a chance to watch a lot of players that maybe I wouldn't normally watch. I find myself watching Lithuania and San Marino and teams like that. I think it's great. I don't think you should be a football snob. I think if there's a weird game on, Moldova versus Armenia, chuck it on. It's good. It's good fun. You see some players that you wouldn't expect. You see some things that you might go, oh, do you know what? That's a little bit different. That's not just the Premier League every week, match of the day highlights every week. Broadens your football knowledge, and that's what we're here to do at Goalpost TV. I've got some cool things coming up. Hopefully, something tomorrow. We'll be putting it out next week. Collaborating with content creators as we go forward. It's something that I'm trying to do this season or towards the end of the season. Get more people on and maybe contribute to other people's channels as well. We've got some guests lined up as well. Stick with me every week, every Wednesday. That is where I'll be, right here. Subscribe, like, do the things that make you come back to me. And if you enjoy it, then comment and tell me that you enjoyed it. Nobody comments, by the way. Nobody comments on these videos. I've realized, I'll put it out. You get a couple of views. There's not many people, but I appreciate you all listen. Most people listen to this podcast every week, and I appreciate that. Spotify viewers, but mainly Apple Podcasts. I appreciate you. But get onto YouTube, comment, tell me all the reasons why I'm wrong, because I'm battling over on TikTok all the time with people, and it'd be nice to see a few of you over in YouTube. I'll be back next week, next Wednesday, every Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Have a great week.